Julie, maybe would you like to go first and just give us your thoughts on the issues about, maybe bring the microphone a little bit clearer, so I think that's it. Just from your perspective on knowing our worth in the workplace and fighting for equality.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Okay, I think let's start with knowing our worth. Personally, I went for many years not knowing my worth, and that started at the age of 17, having founded a nursery because I lived on a very run-down estate in the East End of London, quite deprived community, and a lot of the women on the estate, we didn't know our worth. And some of us that were expectant mums had nowhere to actually give us the opportunity to leave our children and go back into employment. It was a really difficult time. So I campaigned with some women. There were 6 tower blocks, campaigned on every door. And this is going back to 1981. In 1983, the local authority gave in and said, okay, then here's some money, and we got some money off Comic Relief. Cut a long story short, we set up a nursery called the Nappy Gang, which is still going now, and it is run by women. It's run by women. Now, until that time, I didn't know my worth. I didn't think that I could do anything like that, because at the time, in the 1980s, it was very much a male-dominated arena. And wherever you went to ask for advice, there was a man. And I couldn't relate to a lot of the men because I was a single parent, and to be honest with you, I hated them at the time. I did, I honestly did, because of my personal experience. However, I went on, I had some terrible experiences with my health. And in 1996, I was in hospital for 9 months. And I came out of hospital. I'd lost all that confidence that I'd gained from the 80s. And I came out of hospital having worked as a child protection officer. Wanted to develop something that I could do to advocate for women and campaign once again, but this time around equality and equal rights, equal pay, equal everything. I was successful in gaining quite a lot of visibility and recognition from other women that really felt that, you know, they were going through so much discrimination, particularly Black, Asian, minority ethnic women, and some of those that were disabled women and women with long-term conditions that did not know which way to turn when it came to being employed in the workplace or not employed. I think that those of us that are employed are very lucky. Even if there are challenges, we are very lucky to be employed. Those of us that are not employed have a very, very, very tough journey. Now, I see that through the organisation that I founded, Equalities National Council. That small group that I spoke about just a minute ago that started in 1997 after I came out of hospital is now quite a large national organisation. We've got 34 staff. We train social workers or women, and many of those are from a BME community. And there's a reason behind that, because there are a lack of particularly Asian women social workers. And that's some statistics that I've worked out myself with the Office of National Statistics. And it's really important that we have women on our side when it comes to social justice from all different parts of the community. Now, you're not going to believe this, but I'm going to tell you, because we're all women and we do like a gossip sometimes. But I'm going to tell you something that I don't know if it's that I don't know my worth, okay? But as the Chief Executive of Equalities National Council, I've fought and fought and fought for the last 23 years of the existence of the organisation to actually get a wage, to be funded for me to get a wage. I am not paid as Chief Executive of Equalities National Council. I am a volunteer CEO. And it pains me that every time our fundraiser puts in for funding, particularly with the government, because we want our services to be mainstreamed, but they want us to be a project. We don't want to be a project, thank you very much. We are not projects, we're human beings, we're women, and we want a woman leader, who is me, and I want to be Prime Minister one day. And I have had to go for years and years and years of really tough financial decisions about what do I spend my money on. I had 2 children very young, one at the age of 17 when I set up the day nursery, and one at the age of 23. One is now a doctor who's 30 years old, and one is now a managing director and was an ex-professional footballer. I'm not going to tell you his name, doesn't have the same surname as me, but he's done extremely well for himself, and I'm really proud. They're both married, they're both left home, it's just me and the little dog now. Very happy, and she happens to be a woman. Okay? Her name's Bella. But going back to the subject of pay, now, I think it's not about me not knowing my worth now. I actually know what I'm worth now, and I think I'm worth a whole lot more than what I'm being given the recognition for. I think I'm actually facing discriminatory barriers, and it hurts. It's very, very painful because it's quite blatant. And I sit on a number of APPGs, that's the all-party parliamentary groups on whatever. And I also fought against Ian Duncan Smith. He's my MP. Bang, bang, bang. I fought against Ian at the last election. I didn't win, obviously, like you can see he's still there. However, I gave him a bloody good run for his money. He actually said to me, we live in the same constituency as my MP. He's a few roads down from me, not far. And we've had coffee together. I don't agree with what the man has done, but we have had a coffee together. And I've told him that, and he would like me to work with him on stuff around social justice. But I've said that I'm unsure about that. I would like to work with a woman on social justice to make it women's justice. And he is very happy to kind of fund something like that. But I don't want the funding to come from Ian Duncan Smith. I don't want Ian Duncan Smith or any other male-dominated. Sorry for taking up a lot of
That's all right.
the chat. But I don't want to have a logo that says .gov.uk, and .gov.uk for me is white, middle class, suited males that fall asleep in the House of Lords, Houses of Parliament, pretending they're listening where the microphone is on the red and the green couches, pretending they're listening, but they're really not. And I, one day, would like to be funded and paid to take the work I do, not just on the local level, because we advocate for about 1,800 people a year. So it's not just on the local level, it's on a national level. But now, my next venture is a global one, whereby I am looking for investors to invest in women that would like to become aspiring entrepreneurs, who can go out to different walks of life, countries, arenas, wherever, and feel that they don't have to do this trudge, 9 to 5, on the tube, in traffic, getting stressed, all of that. They don't have to do that. They can go to another country, third world country or not, set up a woman's group, a woman's network, do something that actually supports women from the grassroots level in those countries and leave a legacy, leave some form of legacy for those women so they've got something that they can hang on to and women that they can relate to. Because right now, if we think we're suffering, my God, out there, they really have it bad. I've travelled, and it is tough out there. It is really tough. And so, to end in what I'm about, I think that there's two things. I think it's really important that as women in this room, that we really do need to think outside of the box. We really need to think big, that you do know your rights and that you do know your self-worth. And like Fiona said, around advocacy and justice, that is such a big, big thing. And we really do need to have it at the forefront of the you know, our vision, our thinking, our minds. The whole thing boils down to advocacy, looking after each other, looking after others, and justice. And that's it.